So, y'all get you somebody who has these same ideas about actualizing black power that you do. Well, Rob, why the fuck are you saying that, right? I was talking to a brother the other day, and he was telling me that him and his girl, they not, vibing the way they used to vibe because he's kind of stepped into, being pro-black. And I'm going to be using these terms because, by now we understand what these terms mean, and they're used in a general sense. We understand that everybody has their own ideas of what pro-blackness is and wokeness and consciousness. Everybody has their own ideas of such. I almost look at it like I look at denominations within Christianity. Everybody got their own little cut that they use, that they may push forward, and it is what it is. So that's why I'm using this terminology, but he's stepping into his pro-blackness. When he met his girlfriend, neither one of them was on that shit. Now he on that shit, and she acts like it's almost a nuisance to her, and that's causing him to not look at her the same. That's causing them not to vibe the same. And now he's contemplating ending his relationship. Now, this isn't an unfamiliar story. This is something that happens within you stepping into your consciousness, within you stepping into walking that path to achieve black power, to manifest black power. This happens on both sides, both men and women. I've heard these stories on both sides. Okay? This situation, it was a man. And he didn't want to throw away his relationship, but he was feeling like they were growing too far apart. Right? And I would urge each of us, everybody, to find somebody once you get on that path. At that point, once you see your partner isn't interested in that path, it doesn't matter if you like they cooking, it don't matter if you think they funny or whatever, those things aren't going to matter. Because y'all are not on the same page as it pertains to black power. And I think that's very, very important. Now, of course, you're not going to hear this be put on any list. You know what I'm saying? While everybody's having these relationship conversations, you're not going to hear anything about, getting the person that is what Christianity would call equally yoked as you are in black power. You're not going to hear absolutely anything about that. You'll hear about women wanting would be alpha males, black men wanting women to so-called bring stuff to the table outside of pussy. I mean, you'll hear all these things, but you never hear anything. Ever. And these are so-called conscious, woke, pro-black people that be on this type of, on these relationship conversations, but you never hear anything about finding someone who looks at black power just like you do. Or is willing to look at black power just like you do. They don't even talk about, no one talks about this. It's not even an important thing. Not even important. I would argue that it is very important. Because the way I view black power is the way I want a woman I'm involved with to view black power as well. Some people think black power is voting. They think they're going to find black power through the Bible. Some people think they're going to find black power through protesting, holding up signs, Black Lives Matter, politics, and all of its intricacies, if we can call it that. Some people think that there's black power in that. And some people would deem themselves, actualizing black power through these areas. Having a black business, being a black entrepreneur. Some people think they're actualizing black power through this way, through this avenue. Now, of course, me, if you watch my stuff, I disagree with every bit of that. I disagree with every single bit of that. It's not actualizing black power. If you caught my live stream that I did a couple of days ago, then you understand that when I think about black power, I think about liberating the black mind to where we're not cowards, too afraid to walk in black power in front of and around amongst the caves. We can't even get that part right. will hashtag a brother or sister that they murdered, the cops murder, but that's about as far as, that's about as much as the system as we want to deal with. A lot of times. I won't say every time. But when you're looking at relationships between men and women, and nobody is even mentioning being in the same place as far as Black Power is concerned, having the same ideas as far as Black Power is concerned, you're going to have a big problem. I've talked to women that have been, interested in me and things like that. And they may be open to, dealing with Black Power. They may be what some would deem as woke. But once we get down to the nitty-gritty of everyday life, that's not the life that they live for real. They're not really about no Black Power shit in real life. They're cowering in front of the caves. I've seen, it's disgusting. I've watched women do it when they're out with me and stuff like that. Like, I don't like that. That's very unattractive to me, to be a coward when the caves show up. Now, you could be brave as hell, like me right now, sitting in my truck, sitting in your living room, outside, talking on your phone, in your car, whatever. It's easy to be brave then and say all that stuff then, but when the caves show up, you quiet as a fucking mouse. That's unattractive to me. Now, there was one point in my life that I would have never even thought about that. That would have been nothing to me. She thick, you know what I'm saying? Like, she thick as hell. Thick as fuck, right? I don't think we looking at this shit the way we should as it pertains to Black Power. Because what you'll learn in this space is that just because somebody is so-called pro-Black does not mean that they have the same ideas of Black Power as you. There are some people that think that Black Power lies in this gender war that Black people tend to do all up online and on social media. Some people think that's Black Power. Well, if I can just prove that the Black woman ain't shit, then that's Black Power. I'm doing what's best for the community. If I can prove the Black man ain't shit, that's Black Power. Right? You have many people that's like that. If I could just get this work done, this is what I need to do. That's Black Power. Just because somebody seems to be, maybe they'll say something about white supremacy, but what you'll notice is when you find somebody that is on the same page as you as far as the actualizing of Black Power, you won't have to deal with the bickering and the arguments that you would have to do and I don't even call it normal relationships, but y'all have normalized arguing and bickering amongst ourselves in relationships. Y'all have completely normalized that. I think it's disgusting. And a lot of times I feel like I don't even belong here. Like, honestly, that's how I look at it. Like, how the fuck am I here? I don't think this is normal, but we've normalized arguing constantly in relationships and shit, right? This is a normal thing. What you'll find is when you are even in communication with somebody who views actualizing Black Power the way you do, the arguments don't even exist. Because now you're dealing with somebody who understands you at war. We are at war. We have been at war on several different fronts. Some would argue on every front, we're at war. We're at war. And somebody who realizes that is not going to have little silly ass arguments with you. They're not going to have no smoke for you like that. Their smoke is for the caves. Their smoke is for the system of institutional racism. The system that's railroading our children. Their smoke going to be for that. So now you don't even have nobody nagging you about stupid shit. You didn't get me nothing for Valentine's Day. If you dealing with somebody that's on the same level as you, you're not having to hear no shit like that. They don't give a fuck about no goddamn cave holiday. They don't care about that type of shit. They know it's wartime. And the last thing they want to do is become an enemy that you have to deal with. See, a lot of black folk don't even think about this. They don't even think about that. That's not important to them. They just roll right over it. The person you spend the most time arguing with is black, and you're in a relationship with them. Like, that should be mind-blowing to people. But, again, we've normalized this behavior. We've normalized arguing over whatever the fuck is going on at all times. And, of course, staying together, right? Because staying together is the goal. But we're going to argue the whole time. When you have somebody, at least I'll say for me, because I can't speak for everybody. If somebody, a woman, is actualizing or visualizing, acting out black power like me, well, then she don't have time to argue over dumb shit. And before she want to argue with me every day, she'll just let me go. Like, oh, nigga, I can't fuck with you like that. Nah, of course you say word, right? Because there's more going on out here. And we don't realize that. We don't realize it. And you can tell we don't realize it if you just look out here at the state of black people that you talk to in real life, and then the black people that you listen to and entertain, use for entertainment online. You can tell we don't know what the fuck going on out here. We don't understand the seriousness of what's going on out here. And a lot of times when you're in a relationship, before you get that knowledge, it's going to cause some rifts. It's going to cause some very big problems. When you have a person that decides to be like, man, I ain't fucking with Cave Jesus no more, but they've been with a woman now for 3 years and they've been Christian the whole time. Or been with a man the whole time. They've been Christian the whole time. Once you take that next step, it may cause some friction. It may cause a lot of friction in your relationship. But then what do you do? What do you do about that? Some people will try to force themselves to stay together or whatever. I'm going to tell y'all, get you somebody who believes in whatever form of black power you believe in, whatever that is. Now, again, I believe a lot of these forms are silly. Through the Democrats, right? Through the Democrats. Now, to me, that's silly. But some people may deem a person who believes in this as so-called woke. When they talk about racism, they talk about the racist Republicans. That's enough. For me, that's not enough, of course. But for me, I would need somebody who realizes this entire reality is fake. The whole thing is trash. And it's fake as hell. And we got put here for whatever reason. And we dealing with the motherfucking K's who are in positions of power that we're allowing them to continue to sit in because we too scared to even exist in black power amongst ourselves. Black people can't even do it amongst ourselves. Black folk will call you racist. Well, there's a big problem, you see. I've had many women that will tell me, well, you just, yours too serious. Your version, of course they didn't say these exact words as far as my version of black power, but that's basically the vibe you're going to get is, well, your version of black power is too serious. Beautiful women, they may be, on some black power in other areas, but my version is too serious because I don't celebrity worship. Do you know how much of a problem it is for you to be trying to deal with a woman if you don't celebrity worship a black woman? It's a big problem. Believe it or not. Big problem. If you're not concerned with celebrities, you see what I'm saying? So again, when you listen to people talk about relationships and everybody got the answers, some even the would-be conscious people will have their, relationship conversation and things like that. You never hear them talk about being with, finding somebody who views black power the same way you do. Nobody ever talks about it. And I think it's important. And I think that if you're in a relationship and you see if the person is not on the same page as you as far as actualizing black power, you can sit there and suffer in that relationship. You can suffer. Everybody's doing it. That's normal anyway, right? But it's going to end up being a problem. It most definitely is going to end up being a problem. If you have somebody who believes everything the government says, that's lining up to get vaccinated because the government said so, and you like, nah, fuck that. And matter of fact, I don't even know what the fuck wrong with you that you would even be in that line. That's going to be a problem. Finding somebody that looks at life like you do, even though we understand that everybody's putting out have been, even before I was born, put out the false narrative that opposites attract. I disagree, and I strongly disagree. And I would argue that against anybody. Opposites, no, fuck that. They may attract, but what about what's going to make them stick? What's going to make them stay attracted? Without arguing and bickering, of course. I'm talking about something peaceful here. Like, I know people, again, we've normalized arguing to where, yeah, opposites attract, and yeah, you can stay with the motherfucker, but y'all gonna argue every week. Every other day, you get in some silly-ass arguments. Well, if I get somebody that looks at Black Power the way I do, then we're not arguing. There's no time. There's no time for that. We understand we're at war when we walk out of the house. We understand that black people don't have that many havens out here. There is no rest haven. You gotta be on go pretty much all the time if you're paying attention. So my woman understands that. We ain't got time to be arguing all goddamn day. I don't have that many havens out here. I'm at war with the caves every day, all day. You're at war with the system. You're at war at your job. So they're not even bringing little dumb shit to you like that. At least this is the way I view Black Power. At some point, this is going to have to be looked at as an important part of this conversation. As y'all looking for men, as y'all looking for women, having somebody that views Black Power the same way you do. Very important. Very important. If you don't want to sit around fighting all the goddamn time it is, you know. But I see us off balance out here in the streets. Just off balance. Everybody has a different idea of what Black Power is and the way to get there. Most of the ideas that people have been acted out already. People have been striving to for decades, and it hasn't worked. It's the argument I make against voting. It's the argument I make against politics. This stuff just isn't going to work. It just isn't. And therefore, a woman who believes that that type of stuff is going to work, we're not going to mesh well. We're not going to mesh well at all. But I do believe that black people, you need to put this on your list. If you are so-called conscious, so-called pro-black, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, whatever it is, you need to make this important and let this be something that you're saying out loud. Because again, I hear all these conversations being had out loud, but ain't nobody talking about this. Nobody. You hear about what men want. They want a woman that's kind and friendly and submissive, and I mean, all that shit is cool, but I want a woman who look at Black Power the way I do. And the rest of the shit to me will fall into place. You see what I'm saying? That would be my desire, to have a woman that views Black Power like I do. Everything else will fall right on in there, in my opinion. But y'all comment. Let me know what the fuck y'all think about what I'm talking about. Let me know if you are, when you hear these relationship conversations and everybody has the answers, everybody has the key to a successful relationship, are you hearing anything about being on the same footing as far as the path of Black Power is concerned? Because I don't hear it. And maybe I'm not, of course I haven't heard every single thing that's out here, but I don't hear this type of shit. I don't. So y'all let me know if you have. If I sound like I'm talking crazy or whatever, y'all let me know in the comment section. Alright, mad love. Shout out to Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. And this part matters, y'all. No matter how many times y'all want to skip over it, it matters. That's all the fuck I wanted to say. I'm out.